Hi, kitty cats. Yes, I know. My tree has still not been taken down. It'll happen eventually. So this is a Foodie Friday. Don't forget to share, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, all that stuff. So I'm gonna do the Foodie Tag today. I'm gonna have this little drink first. I needed that. So, trying to relax a little bit. Been super anxious lately. Having a lot of trouble this week with videos and stuff not going the way I wanted them to. But this is a Foodie Tag. And I'm gonna list all the questions below, of course. And the first question is, were you a picky eater growing up? That's a very good question, and I'm not really sure of the answer. I think I was a little bit picky. I didn't like ketchup. I remember that. And I was not a fan of carrots, which might be weird to some people. Otherwise, though, I think I ate most things. I don't remember being super picky. I remember my mom once told me I could pick out any vegetable I wanted to at the store, and she would make it for me, and I picked out Brussels sprouts. And she said, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I thought they were so cute, you know," and brought them home, and she made them, and I did not like them. Now I love Brussels sprouts, and I suspect part of the reasons I didn't like them was because my mom, I don't think, really knew how to cook them. She just like boiled them. And Brussels sprouts are kind of when they're just boiled. I mean, they're good shaved and fried and roasted, but boiled, not that great. So, so yeah, I don't think I was too picky, but there are a few things I was picky on. Number 2, tell us your fondest childhood food story. Okay. This is gonna be, it's more of a humor, I don't know if it's my fondest, it's like my humorous story. I grew up raising rabbits. We were on a rabbit ranch, really, and so we did eat them. And this is gonna sound horrible because I love domestic guinea pigs, as you all know, and I would never eat them. And honestly, I wouldn't even eat rabbit now. Last time I had rabbit, I thought it was kind of gross. When I was a kid, though, we raised them and we ate them, and it's kind of weird because we only ate the babies. No, that sounds awful. But it's the young rabbits that taste good. I think there had to be about 6 months, I think, for us to eat. Either 6 weeks or 6 months. Something like that for us to eat them. My dad took care of all the slaughtering and stuff like that. And and my mom made many different dishes with them. But one of her more popular dishes was what she called chicken with an R pie. You're like, what is that? It's a pie that's made with rabbit instead of chicken. She called it chicken with an R because people would freak out when they heard it was rabbit. So, yeah. I grew up really loving rabbit. I think it may have been because my dad, they weren't wild rabbit. This was specific types of rabbit that were bred for meat. New Zealand's and another kind. These weren't like those mini domesticated rabbits you get at the pet store. These were big rabbits. But the adults, we did name and so forth. It was just like when you're on a farm, you name the cows, but you also eat the cows, you know, or chickens and stuff. It's just like that, but it was with rabbits. And so anyways, my mom would call it that. So there are two stories here. One is of being at home, and a lot of my brothers and sisters were a lot older than me, and my sister would bring home boyfriends all the time for dinner, my oldest sister. And there was one guy who was he really enjoyed my mom's cooking, and he just was like, what does chicken with an R mean? And then he looked outside, and outside of the window are all these hutches, rabbit hutches, and I think it all clicked, and he just put his fork down and was like, I think I'm done. And my family immediately was like laughing, like they thought that was hysterical. This poor guy was just devastated that he was eating rabbit. The other incident was at a church function, and my mother brought chicken with an R salad sandwiches, and people were eating them up, and most people can't really tell the difference. Like, rabbit tastes a lot like chicken, and so most people don't notice. But this one woman, this German woman that went to our church, sorry, that's my notification, she came running up to my mother and was just like, oh, Reet, because my mom's name was Marguerite, so they called her Reet. I just love these sandwiches. She was like, I haven't had rabbit since I was a child. And my mother froze, and the people that were around were like, what? People were so upset. They were just like, we've been eating rabbit? And yeah, they got all upset about it. After that, this boy that my other sister knew would no longer eat anything that my mom brought to the church luncheons, because he just assumed there was probably rabbit in it. So there's a food story from my youth there. Number 3, what cooking skill or knowledge did you learn from your mom or whoever did the cooking when you were growing up? My mom did most of the cooking. My sisters, though, both cooked too, and my brother, actually, that I talked about the other day, my brother Jimmy, he loved to do cooking as well. So I learned something from everybody. My dad actually made pizza, homemade pizza, every year on New Year's Eve. So I learned how to make pizza from him. I learned how to do most cooking from, my mom. But honestly, a lot of my skills in cooking came from watching television shows. Thank you, Julia Child. Like, that's where most of my cooking came from. And I would just get out recipes and make them on my own. My mom had a lot of cookbooks, and I would just do it on my own. In fact, she was jealous of me when it came to pies, because I made really good pie dough, and she could not figure out why my pie dough was so much better than hers. I don't really know either. I think we're pretty much following the same recipe. Pie dough is so simple, but for some reason, some people just make it better than others. So, yes. Do you have any food allergies? No. I'm not allergic to any foods. When I was younger, if I ate like chocolate ice cream or chocolate pudding, I would always get a headache. Any dairy chocolate stuff was weird. But now that isn't an issue, so. But any actual allergies, no. 5, what is your favorite fast food restaurant? It's a weird question, in my opinion. That's hard for me to say because it's all about what people consider fast food. If we're talking about traditional fast foods, I guess I would say Wendy's. But I also really like KFC. I'm a fan of KFC. Now, some people would consider any burger joint to be any burger joint chain to be fast food. I don't, but if you were to add those in, I would say Five Guys. I really like to go to Five Guys when we're in the town that has it in it, because we don't have Five Guys in this town. I did enjoy Sonic for a little while, but then they changed their menu, and now I'm like, like, not as wonderful as I thought it was before. 6, what is your favorite dine-in restaurant? Well, in this area, we really like Hazel, which is a restaurant that does barbecue and pizza and other things too, but that's like their main stuff. And they make poutine, and so we like to go there. It's really good. The barbecue, they make their own barbecue sauce. It's really nice. I mean, it's not like a super fancy place, but it's nice. Number 7, do you prefer eating out or cooking? I don't have a preference on that. It depends on my mood. Today I would not want to go eat out because, one thing, it's freezing cold outside. Going and doing the shopping was hard enough. Number 8, if you had 30 minutes to get food on the table, what would you make? Pasta. Pasta. Pasta's really simple, easy, and quick. So that's what I would make. Ow. Sorry, arthritis is acting up in one of my hands. Do you have a rags to riches meal? I don't know what that is. What is a rags to riches meal? Could somebody explain that to me? If you know what it is, let me know in the comments down below. Number 10, if you were at the corner of an intersection and each corner was a place to grab coffee, McDonald's, Dunkin Donuts, Starbucks, or a gas station, where would you go and what would you order? We don't have Starbucks here, so I really wouldn't even know what to grab if there was a Starbucks. McDonald's I don't really like. Gas station stuff to me is like but so it would be Dunkin Donuts, which many of you have seen that I do go to Dunkin Donuts on occasion when we have the money to. And I also have a friend that works at Dunkin Donuts right now. I would get an iced macchiato and probably pumpkin spice or some other flavor. I used to really like their berry tea, which they stopped making. Thanks. I also like their frozen hot chocolates. 11. What is your favorite ice cream? You keep asking me for favorites on these things, and I don't have favorites really. I mean, we like Ben & Jerry's, but for flavors, it all depends. I like pistachio. I've been eating, like, when I get ice cream, which isn't that often, I will get gelato. It's this like caramel and cookies gelato, and I really like that. It's really good. 12. What is your favorite cereal? I'm not a big cereal person. John loves cereal though. Loves it. Is buying it all the time, and I think his favorite is probably Frosted Flakes. He eats cereal every day, probably twice a day. If he could just live off of cereal, he would be fine with that. 13. What is your favorite drink? I drink lots and lots of water, but I don't know if you're meaning an alcoholic drink, if that's what it means. It doesn't say that. That changes all the time too. I go for phases of what I want in a drink or what I want. I mean, these days, like hot tea and hot cocoa are a big deal because it's cold out. 14, super salad. Both? Can I have both? Because I'd like to have both. I love salad, but I also really like soup. So I would like both, please. 15, what is your dream foodie experience? My dream foodie experience would be being able to go to a 5-star restaurant and ordering whatever the hell I like. That to me would be amazing. I don't think I've ever been to a 5-star restaurant. I've been to some nice dine-in places that are, you know, okay. But 5-star, like, New York City restaurant, no. I did go to a really nice restaurant in Boston once, and I don't know if it's 5-star. It had to be at least 4-star. My friend took me, and I had lobster, macaroni and cheese, and it was so awesome. So, and that's it. Those are all the questions. So, there are going to be other things on Foodie Fridays besides recipes. Sometimes we'll do the junk food tasting. Sometimes I might do a tag like this of some sort. Or I might talk about a kitchen gadget, but whatever it is, it will be related to food. I did read the comments about what kind of recipes people would like to see, and so I'm gathering recipes that I will do on that. And there you go. And don't forget to always be kind, even when you want to poke them in the ear. Bye-bye, kitty cats.